Hello, good morning, good evening, good afternoon. I don't know if I'll upload those other video clips. We have been queuing for an hour and a half trying to get out of Gibraltar with our car. We gave up, we've come back, parked it in a multi-storey car park, and we're going to walk home now. And while I was in the queue, my friend, Kaiser, who I work with, sent me a WhatsApp that apparently there's been a catastrophic near miss. Now, when something is catastrophic, it's catastrophic, isn't it? It's not a near miss. Apparently there was a car chase and Harry and Meghan were nearly killed. They weren't killed, it's all right, but they were nearly killed. It was a near catastrophic. I mean, if paparazzi are chasing famous people's cars, that does not necessarily mean that the person who's in the famous car, that person driving has to drive like a lunatic. No. Does it?
And if you're a paparazzi and you're like famous people, you wouldn't go after Meghan and Harry, would you, for fuck's sake?
No, I think it's like, oh, I'm just like Princess Diana, I'm just like Princess Diana. And, I mean, if they're that worried about security, why did they leave the bloody royal family in the first place? They could have lived in Windsor Castle, it's a fort, for goodness sake.
I reckon she was thrown out.
Well, I mean, it just makes their whole argument of how they left for privacy just so laughable. And he's trying to get his court case against the British Home Office, isn't he, for his security. And this will all be, oh, if you don't give us security, we're all going to be killed in a car crash. I'm not buying it for a second. It sounds staged.
Right through all their lies.
Well, they've lied.
None of it.
They've lied so many times. Sorry, misremembered. Which brings me to the video last night. I loved all your comments. There was a lot of humour in there. A lot of references to duvet covers and the Jetsons and tablecloths and old 1960s sofa covers. Yes, but there were one or two people who kept going on about body shaming. I'm not quite sure how criticising someone's clothes. Are clothes a body? I don't think clothes are a body, are they? A body's a body. A body is a human being. And if I were to say, oh, someone's got a fat body, that's body shaming. If I say, I don't like your dress, that's not body shaming, guys. That is not body shaming. Only one or two guys, particular sugar, who copy, cut and paste the same long, boring and ridiculous comment all over that video last night. All over it. Something like... oh, Kate steals money off the taxpayer, whereas Meghan spent her own money and stuff like that. You can go and read it. It's just post, copy, cut and paste, copy, cut and paste, copy, cut and paste. So to me that looks like an employee, someone who is paid to comment support for Meghan. But it was only one of them.
Anyway, she's fabulously rich. She should be wearing really smart clothes that look really good on her.
You'd think they'd at least fit, wouldn't you?
That all wonky sewing and holes.
Or that if you're going to have fake tan, I mean, I've got tan lines, but I wouldn't wear a dress to something where I know all the press are going to be, deliberately showing off the weird tan lines. But yeah, oh, I knew it was coming. Oh, and a stalker's been arrested outside their house. Here we go, the Anne Woodward theory that I've had for a long time. Oh, I shot Harry, I thought he was a burglar. Look her up, Anne Woodward, 1930s or 40s. Blew her husband away in the night, and they'd had stalker. No one had actually found any evidence of a stalker, I don't think, in the days preceding, but Anne had said she'd seen and heard a stalker. So they were sleeping in bed, separate bedrooms, with loaded guns, and her husband got up, and she blew him away, and she said she thought he was a burglar, and she was found not guilty. Let's see. But it was a near miss, guys. It's nothing catastrophic. Nothing actually happened. Nothing actually happened. Okay? And I'm glad to see the Daily Mail's actually ignoring the story. So far, so good.
Yeah. But if I was to drive down the road and a lorry was to go down the opposite side of the road, I was almost killed. It could have been catastrophic.
It could have been.
But luckily it missed me.
If it had veered onto your side of the road, yes, that could be catastrophic. Yeah. We're walking past traffic now.
Could be catastrophic.
Any one of these cars, any minute, could come through the barriers, and that could be catastrophic. That's near catastrophic, isn't it? Oh, it was near. Here comes another one. It's near catastrophic. Honestly.
Honest, paparazzi.
Oh, I know, the paparazzi. So everybody wanted a picture of Meghan in her blanket dress, her bubble wrapped tinfoil Honestly, if you want to laugh, get on those comments. There is some serious talent there.
Look at all the paparazzi. Quick, Fiona, duck, hide, hide. So,
Look, it's moving again now. Put your phone down.
I'll have to put the phone down and move another 5 foot. Oh, not quite 5 foot, it's 4 foot this time. Speed camera. Now this queue goes all the way down Devil Tower Road to the end of the runway, then it goes under the runway, and then it goes all the way back down the other side of the runway to the border. We could be here for some time, so I don't think those speed cameras will be making much money. What do you reckon, Fiona? You're sick of being chased by paparazzi?
Come on, you need to drive. The queue's moving a bit now.
Did we nearly have a catastrophic crash?
Oh, don't. So this is the new tunnel we're actually in at the moment. And this is so cars aren't stopped by the runway closures. Because there's an airplane's landing over us. This entire queue is caused by the politicians at the border, isn't it?
Yeah.
So all these people have finished work. They've been working hard all day long, and the politicians in Madrid and London, that's what's causing this.
And it's only punishing people who live in Spain.
Yeah.
Because if you live in Gib, you don't care, because you're not going to be in this queue, are you?
It's unbelievable. I haven't seen a queue since the tunnel was opened. The tunnel actually works really well. There is only one conceivable reason that this could be held up, unless there's a big car crash ahead, and we all know that's not the case, don't we? This is
They'll be checking every single person's passport at the border.
Yeah, they will. They're
Scanning
under
it
orders.
The foot soldiers, though, it's not their fault. They're just doing as they're told. This is all down
They're
to
extremely
politicians.
well paid for doing what they're told. I believe they get
okay.
about 70,000 euros a year, and they're armed to the teeth. I've never earned that kind of money in my life. Not in my life. And they're making all announcements in the tunnel. I couldn't get my damn phone out of my handbag in time. You can hear the horns going now. And I don't blame them, poor sods. They've finished work. What the hell have any of these innocent citizens done to deserve this? Let's have a look at the queue going back there. Don't want to take a motorcyclist out. See that? And it goes all the way up there.
This is just the end of the runway. It's got to go all the way up to the side now.
And the rest
And then we get into a 6-lane queue.
Yep.
And then they're stopping people, passports, and they're stopping them. If you've got anything to declare, have a look round your car. And then they let the car, they don't...
It's not the Guardia Civil doing this, it's the immigration, it's the Policia Nacional. In my experience, it's them that's doing it, it's not the Guardia Civil.
Politicians, I'm telling you. These
Well,
people,
yeah, they're
these
under
just
orders.
follow orders. They have to do.
It's disgraceful. This goes on all the time. Who needs politicians, eh? I thought, like Fabian says, his job is to make life better. That's why Gibraltar government's gone to all the trouble to build this phenomenally expensive tunnel to ease the traffic, to make people's lives better. Why does the world need politicians that deliberately make people's lives worse?
The problem is when you're entering the EU from a non-EU country, you know, the border force there are allowed to stop everybody and scan everybody's passport in if they want to. And some days they just go, yeah, you got a passport, yeah, you got a passport. Other days they just scan everybody, and I mean everybody.
Yeah, even Spanish. But they're not scanning people because they're looking for terrorists or anything like that. They're doing it to create a queue. They're doing it. It takes about 5 minutes to scan each passport. How many cars do you reckon are in this queue?
Hundreds and hundreds.
Oh, thousands, Graham, easily. Times that by 5 minutes, and that's per person in the car.
What time is it?
We started this nightmare about an hour ago. It's 5:35 now. Yeah, we've been in the queue an hour, and we've moved about 200 yards. And I am going to put this on YouTube, and I am going to tag it for Madrid to see, and for London to see.
It's very childish and unnecessary, and if I was a grown-up in the room, I would bang these people's heads together and say, wake up! Like you do with two children who won't share, you know?
Well, we won the rock fair and square, and that's the way it goes. Like America won the war. I don't see London trying to take America back. Does anybody else? Because they'd look pretty stupid, wouldn't they? We won the war, Spain, I'm sorry. It's now 6:15 and we've moved about 50 metres, maybe a little bit more than that. Coming up to the airport now. A lot of people might say, why not live in Gibraltar? Why live in Spain? Because there's 10,000 of us cross-frontier workers. We live in Spain, just across the border, but we work in Gibraltar. Well, the quick answer is Gibraltar's 3 miles long. There it is, it's a rock. Majority of it is totally uninhabitable. People live at the bottom of the rock.
There's 2.5 square miles of town.
2.5 square miles of sort of housing. And for, say, a one-bedroom flat, what do you reckon, $500,000?
Oh,
Easy, something like that. Very, very, very expensive. Cross the frontier, which is half a mile in that direction, and you can buy a 4-bedroom house still for €100,000, or a 1-bedroom rabbit hutch for $500,000 in Gibraltar. And a lot of these cross-frontier workers like us, they earn, I don't know, 6,000, 10,000 a year. We're impoverished peasants. Impoverished peasants. Another question, why did we bring the car in today? We had to bring the car in for another reason. Normally we walk. But this is what it's like if you drive, because not everybody, not all the cross-frontier workers live immediately across the border. They might live 10, 15 miles further on, so they need a car.
I mean, it would be quicker for us, really, realistically, to find a free parking space, park the car up and walk on, and then come back for it later on, because it will be clear. I've gone 9 o'clock, there's no queue. It's just rush hour.
Rush hour? Rush hour?
Rush hour lasts a lot longer than an hour.
We came earlier, and I wish we'd just gone through earlier, but Graham said, I don't want to queue. We came at 3 o'clock, and it was nowhere near this bad. It goes on from 3 o'clock in the afternoon until 9 o'clock in the evening. There is no rush hour about it.
Rush hours then, yeah?
I remember the European Union and some of the Spanish politicians came down to see what the queue was like, and Fabian's, our chief minister, he put them in the queue and let them cook for 4 hours. Oh, they didn't like it at all.
Even when we were in the EU, it made no difference. There were still big long queues.
But he brought them. He brought the EU down to see what the problem was with the border. I mean, this is quite deliberate. Quite deliberate.
Yeah, but they are entitled to examine everybody's passport that are entering the European Union. And if they want to scan every single person's passport in, that's their prerogative, isn't it? What
do you want to do then? Turn around, because we can't go anywhere at the moment, but when
I say we park up, find a free parking space.
There are no free parking spaces in Gibraltar,
and then
Graham.
Walk home, come back later. Otherwise, we're still going to be here at 9 o'clock.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you can film all this on foot as we just walk straight past.
Yeah, I can. And I will. I will. Definitely. We quite frequently get Spanish TV news networks down at the border filming it.
The beach at Eroski is free. I'll see if there's any parking spaces there.
Oh, I'm not sure it is, actually. No, I think all that's changed now. You're talking about Western Beach?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so.
No?
If we can't find somewhere to park, it might be better to stay in the Holiday Inn. I think you get a free parking space or book a hotel for the night. Until... I did a video about this not long ago. I'll have to look back how long... It was Easter, wasn't it? The Easter weekend they did it on purpose. Because we have done that before, stayed the night in Gib, because you can't get out. In the olden days, when the border was closed, people had to get the ferry to Morocco, and then from Morocco to Spain. That was the only way in and out of Gibraltar. You couldn't go through the frontier at all. In the days of Franco, it was shut, glued shut, nailed shut. Nothing went in, nothing came out. It's unbelievable. So we've decided we're going to go back. Queue to get back the other way, because we're just trapped here. All these cars, they're going to be trapped here till dark. I'm so tagging Madrid in this. The world needs to see what goes on here. In fact, I'm not the only one filming. Quite a lot of people are filming this for posterity. Kind of horrifying, actually.
So I'll put my bits in there as well.
There was a time when some people, I don't know if anyone actually died, but the Spanish did this, blocked the border. There was a big traffic jam. It was in August. It was really hot.
People were dying in the cars,
St John's ambulance had to come out because
water.
people were dehydrating. One pregnant lady had to be taken to hospital, I think. A couple of elderly people had to go to hospital. You know, actual people that get damaged and die. Look at all this. Look at all this traffic. I'll film it all going through the tunnel. And we've just given up, absolutely given up. We're going the other way now, going back into the rock. See all that on the other side of the road. Poor sods. Hour and a half now. At the other side of the tunnel, here more cars queuing. This will go all the way down Devil Tower Road. And as Graham was just saying, the border is an entry to the European Union, so it's the European Union's decision. They should be in control of that border, and they clearly are not in control of that border.
Or if they are, they're a bunch of arseholes, and I'm a Ramona, don't forget.
Yeah, I'm beginning to hate the EU.
And you know, this is just piss-taking. There's no need for it at all.
So they go right round the roundabout, and then this is Devil Tower Road. You'll see the great big long queue waiting at Devil Tower Road. That's just to enter the tunnel, because some politician somewhere thought it would be a cool idea. So they are not parked cars, that is a queue. Unbelievable. I don't really know why politicians aren't held more to account, far more. I mean, like arrested if they lie, or arrested if they deliberately do something that causes harm, deliberate harm to citizens. I think if they faced threat of jail, I think they'd be a little bit more careful about the decisions they make.
I'd be super strict on politicians, mate. We need a police that are super strict on them.
Yeah, police to police the politicians.
They can be chopped like that and thrown out of office.
Yes.
For piss taking and fiddling.
There should be a high standard of behaviour for politicians.
There should.
It's disgraceful. So we're stuck on the rock. We're going to.
Walk home. I have to walk home.
Yeah, you won't find any free parking, Graham. It'll cost us about 70 quid overnight.
We'll see.
I can guarantee you it'll cost us a load of money to park the car. Wish to God we had walked. In future, I'm going to buy myself a massive backpack and a cart I can tow behind me to bring things in and out.
I wanted a mobility scooter, but Fiona won't let me have one.
Where are you going to fucking put it on the boat? Really?
Yeah.
It was your idea to bring the car in.
Well, you know why we needed it.
We could have walked the half a mile, Graham.
We could, but we had to fill the car up as well. So
here we are now, beginning of the runway. This is the other side of the runway. So now they've got this tunnel, you drive right round the end. But it's just unfortunately created a new car park for the Spanish authorities to fill up by blocking the border.
To make the queue longer.
Longer queue, record break. They should get the Guinness World Book of Records down here. I bet it is, apart from Brighton. God, I'm come from Brighton. The traffic jams that Brighton Council arranged on the seafront, my God. I could queue for 6.5 hours there to do 3 miles. And I had 2 little kids and a vacuum cleaner and a cleaning business, so the option of walking wasn't really there.
On the queue in the end, it was just about an hour later, we just thought, bollocks, I'll just park the car back up in the car park and walk home. I'll come and get it later when the queue's died down.
So here we are at Gibraltar's largest car park. This is the queue. This is the 6-lane queue when you finally do get to the border, which is there, and that's where the police are scanning everybody. And just have a look at that. and then that goes right back, and where we gave up, we were the other side of the big building, which is the airport. And these poor sods will be probably stuck here till 9 o'clock at night. And the time, it took us nearly an hour to get out of that queue, go back, park the car, which we'll have to pay for overnight. It's unbelievable, this, isn't it? Absolutely unbelievable. And I'm constantly amazed that mainstream media don't cover this, and the torture that the commuters suffer down here, the impoverished workers. We're about to walk through the pedestrian bit. But that is just disgraceful.
Down there, that's the traffic coming through the border. Don't see very many of them, do you?
Well, we've made it to freedom. We're in Spain, finally. Yeah, there's not hardly anything coming through there. Look, one moped. Let's see when the next vehicle comes.
That is all the vehicles in the queue. Considering the queue's so big.
I know.
I mean, where's the queue?
Where's the next vehicle? What's the matter? Are the national police holding people up, scanning every passport? Oh, this is quite a fun game. I might sound really angry, because I am actually really angry.
Should we walk down to the corner?
I'm a really patient person, but I mean, there are certain categories of people that really get up my nose and get under my skin. Where's the next car, Spain? Come on, there's about 10,000 cars queuing to come out.
No, the police are there.
Oh, there's a motorbike and a cyclist.
The police are there for a very good reason. It's not to piss everyone off.
Of course it's to piss everyone off, and it works. Unfortunately, the Chief Minister lives in South District. I don't believe he comes to Spain very often. It's not his fault. And I don't think the Prime Minister, Rishi Sunak, I don't think he crosses this border either. I don't think the King of England crosses this border. No, impoverished plumbers, carpenters, electricians, waiters, waitresses, people who live off their tips. That's what crosses the border. That's what crosses the border. Overpaid politicians. And the police officers on that border, armed to the teeth, bullying little peasants. Again. Fabian Picardo needs to get on to Madrid. He needs to get a camera team down there, film it all the time and shame them.
I disagree. He needs to get on to Brussels and say, oi, what's going on here?
Yeah, I might tag the old EU in this. Not that they'll give a crap. They do what they like, don't they?